Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm Untitled Bavarian, and we are here with Citizen Capet, the King of France. After he attempted to betray the revolution and the constitutional monarchy, he is now back. He has been caught. He has not been roughed up by the guards. We told him to not be roughed up. And I just want to take a quick look at the notebook here. Who is Raphael Clovis? Regular soldiers shun him due to his portliness. They were the main reason that he became a court guard. He may not be the brightest, but he's loyal and follows orders without so much as a word. Interesting. Our loved ones want prison. They don't want the death penalty, of course. The revolutionaries and the common folk want the death penalty. I mean... yeah, we're gonna go with this one. I can already... I'm sorry. I know there are some people here that want to free the king, but I'll be real with you. The king came into my courthouse, sat down there, to influence my beliefs about him because he knew if he screwed up, he would be back here. He begged me for mercy in that moment, and I entirely will not give it to him. It is undue influence that he shouldn't have pushed for. Anyway, what else is going on? Enemy at the courthouse will end today. Thank you so goddamn much. Let's read the case files here. Oh, that's a lot of charges. Compatriot. Oh, speech for the prosecution by Antoine Quentin. Compatriots. Citizen Capet, previously known as King Louis XVI of France, must be punished for conspiring against the people of France. Let me turn this down a little bit. Louis Capet tried to defend his absolute authority by plotting against the National Constituent Assembly and the people of France. You all remember July of 1789. He gathered an army, 15 foreign regiments, and ordered them to surround Paris. Soldiers led by Baron de Besenval were to capture deputies and shoot as citizens defending the reforms. And so they did. The Royal German Regiment drew first blood. After the plot failed, Louis Capet tried to flee the country with his family and scheme with foreign monarchs abroad. Is that not the reason he took flight from the Tuileries? I think that's what they call it. One night in June of 1791 using someone else's passport. Was he not heading to Montmedy where his loyal armies were stationed, ready to take him to Austria? If it were not for Postmaster Duret, the scheme would have ended tragically for us. Louis Capet will never abandon the thought of suppressing the revolution by force. Before the events of 1792, he gave orders for the Swiss guards stationed in the Tuileries to be doubled. He conducted a public muster in front of horrified citizens. The people had no choice. They had to act before Capet attacked. Citizens of Paris, who tried to stop the madness, were shot at, even after Capet's escape to the National Assembly. Evidence, an order issued by Marshal de Broglie to Baron de Besenval. An order issued, huh? Let's talk about the fake passport. That is method. International plot. There is no trap here, by the way. We can only make two mistakes. The international plot is an accusation. Attempted to flee the country. Postmaster Duret. Witness. Quite clearly. Suppressing the revolution. That's an accusation if I've ever seen one. Doubling method or motive. Motive. Yes. Doubling the size of the guard. Method? Yes, let's go. Shooting civilians. Accusation. Defending his authority is the motive. Gathering armed forces is a method. And surrounding the city of Paris is also a method. Too easy for me. Wow. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Louis Capet, I hereby open your trial. Answer the questions when asked. Capet is the name of one of my ancestors. My name is Louis Auguste de Bourbon. That may have been your name before you raised your hand against the people you had sworn to defend. As a king, I have never done anything against my people. I love them all, and I still do. Objection. There is evidence of Louis Capet's treason against the people of France. He should be tried as a foreigner and enemy, not a citizen of the Republic. Questioning the defendant will stir the impatient audience. Once angered, the people may even start a riot. What the fuck? What? What did the accused plan to do with the constituents' deputies? Calling the witness Jean Duret. Jean Duret was whomstuff? Oh, that's the postmaster, right? Let's start with the key issues here. Was the accused planning to reclaim his authority in Paris and re-establish an absolute monarchy? Why would I do that? According to the constitutional law, I was still the king. Then why did you raise a number of troops in the Tuileries? I can't read that word, I'm sorry, it's too complex. I feared for my family's life. It is not a mystery that the citizens of Paris were incited to seize the palace and capture us, especially as it was Mr. Danton's goal. It is clear then that the Guard were organized against the citizens of Paris, many of whom did fall in the Tuileries. Against violence and disorder, Mr. Tinville, not against my people. Yeah, they didn't like that at all. Who helped you suppress the revolution? Who was responsible for the delivery of the passport? My butler. I ordered him to prepare all the formalities regarding travel to Montmedy. The city hall has not received any submissions from your butler. I do not know what to say. Monsieur le Juge, Louis Capet's butler was seen at the Austrian embassy. They surely took care of all the documents for the defectors. Monsieur Tinville, that is more hearsay. Who said such a thing? Bring him here so that he may repeat it. There's no need. That is hard evidence, especially in light of what the accused has told us. Has the accused ever considered Paris and its citizens to be his enemies? Who helped you suppress the revolution? How do they feel? They feel alright? They're still anxious? Let's call in the witness right now. Jean Doré. Please introduce yourself. Jean Doré, postmaster of Saint Menehould. Menehould? How do you pronounce that? Monsieur le Juge. Did the accused, Louis Capet, introduce himself to the witness with his full name? No, he didn't introduce himself at all. He only produced someone else's documents. So he tried to hide his identity. You could say so. I used the name from the documents after he showed them to me. He never objected. Then how did he learn of his true identity? By the image on the paper's assignation. Then a messenger from General Lafayette confirmed my suspicions. I ran as fast as I could to Varennes to inform the authorities. Was he nervous or in a hurry? Did the accused tell anyone the destination of his journey? Was the accused acting like a defector? Was he nervous or in a hurry? No, the king, Capet, was in no hurry. He even found the time to jest. What about the Capets? That I do not know. Only the king would leave his carriage. Capet. Judging by his clothes, I thought he was merely a townsman. Would the accused like to comment on this testimony? I do not see anything wrong with traveling in modest, comfortable clothing. It is even advisable for practical reasons. It would be advisable during an escape, especially if a monarch were to try to sneak away. This dude is fucking guilty. What did the accused plan to do with the constituents' deputies? Nothing. The assembly that I joined on 27th June 1789 granted immunity to its members, and I intended to respect that. And yet you ordered your soldiers to seize and imprison the deputies and perhaps even execute them. Nonsense. There is no evidence of that. My enemies spread rumors to get rid of me. We don't need evidence against a coward who runs from his own people. Has the accused ever considered Paris and its citizens to be his enemies? Absolutely not. I ask that you explain the question. How can you deny it if you do not understand the question? Your army surrounded Paris. Is that not what you do to your enemies? Soldiers were there only to ensure public order while the National Assembly was in session. Adequate forces were already present in Paris. Was that not enough? I need one more, but they're already getting unruly here. Who helped you suppress the revolution? Frederick William II, Francis II, Catherine II, or maybe a relative, Charles IV? Justice awaits them as well. Nonsense, all of it. I only desire to take my family out of Paris as I did not wish for them to suffer house arrest. We all know the European monarchs despise our ideals of freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Am I to understand that you tried to prepare a joint military intervention? I deny any such accusation. There is no evidence for such outrageous claims. I would never turn against my beloved France. Liar! He'd sell his own mother, never mind his country. Oh, fuck. People are very aggressive, haha. What's the report say? Nothing. Is it just that whenever I want to imprison somebody, it automatically goes this way? What is the consequence of the people being aggressive here? I'm gonna sentence him. I will be entirely honest with you. I believe he wanted to flee, and everything else that we haven't explored so far is a shame, an absolute nonsense of a line of defense. He just traveled in plain clothes with the wrong passport, didn't show his family off because they would have given him away. Nonsense, he was fleeing. I hereby sentence him to the guillotine. Monsieur le Juge, the crowd from the building is enraged. There may soon be a massacre. A rumor has spread about hidden evidence of citizens Capet's treason. People have gone mad. What evidence? I will go to them. I would ask you all to stay in your seats until I return. Oh, so if this happens, you have to hold a speech and calm him down? Is this true?
People, what vexes you? Why are you so angry?
The king lied to us! That coward ran from us! He'll surely run from justice as well! We found proof of the king's treachery in his secret iron cabinet!
What did they find? Oh, we can't even reveal anything. Citizen Capet shall not escape justice. I will go with aggression here. The evidence from the iron cabinet will be examined. Believe in me. Hey, it's all perfect arguments. This is a strong argument, so there's a better one here, but I'm going to go with aggression, humility, manipulation.
The king has been imprisoned. He will not escape a second time. If he tries, I will kill him with my own bare hands. Each new piece of evidence will be thoroughly examined. The Republic's standards demand nothing less. I shall follow them to the letter. Justice must return to our country and stay here for good. No one is more concerned about this matter than a judge of the tribunal.
Okay. Effects, we get reputation, influence, and common folk endorsement. Beautiful. Alright, they've calmed down. It is true, evidence of Capet's guilt has been found. Really? Would the defendant like to explain why he concealed a secure iron cabinet and the documents hidden within from the convention? I hid nothing from the convention. No one asked me about the existence of such things. You kept your correspondence well hidden under lock and key. It could only be retrieved It could only be retrieved with the assistance of a master locksmith. It comes all back together. The master locksmith, the letters. It all comes back together. Any affluent Parisian has a lockable cabinet. I, for one, am keenly interested in locksmithing. Oh my goodness, let's read all the case files. The deputies of the so-called National Assembly are to be carefully questioned, and if any of them should display common sense and cease to support the Assembly, reward him with an extraordinarily high allowance and forward His Majesty's thanks. So these are the ones that we already had, right? Oh, what? Right, this is this one. My lord, should any reason appear, shoot the rebels without hesitation, just as His Majesty ordered. Have no mercy, for they shall have none either. Vivi de Broglie. Right, this is them paying them off. Shoot the rebels. We trust that with God's grace and help, His Majesty will soon arrive within the imperial borders for us to grant His Majesty as well as our beloved sister safety, and to potentially take the necessary steps to re-establish the natural European order within the borders of France. His Imperial Majesty, the Holy Roman Empire, King of Hungary, Bohemia, Croatia, Dalmatia, Slavonia, Galicia, Lodomeria, etc. AD 1791, 15th of May. 15th of May, huh? Your Grace, soon we will come to your Majesty's rescue. However, for the time being, I implore your Majesty to muster local troops that remain loyal. I shall issue a warning to your Majesty's subjects that any and all who dare raise a hand against your Majesty would suffer the direst of consequences. My armies await my orders to curb the tide of anarchy in your Majesty's country. Duke of Brunswick-Lüneburg. Charles William Ferdinand. 1792, 9th of June. This is a conspiracy. Corrupting citizens at his request. I don't know. Who did do that? Letter from the Duke. Attempted escape, suppressing the revolution. Counter-revolution. Minister's order. Minister's order. That's evidence. Or method? Letter from the Emperor. That's evidence, yeah. Letter from the Duke. Probably also evidence. Alright. Minister's order. Attempted escape. Is a course of events. And then you are... Method? Minister's order. Kind of the method, right? And again, evidence? Yeah, it's just evidence. and also method. Both is right. Alright, we have more questions here. People might get uppity again. Oh, but everybody's now... Wait, but didn't I already sign a verdict? I swear to God, I actually signed a verdict already. Excuse you. You were aware of the plans of the Emperor and the Duke of Brunswick. Why did you not say anything? Was the accused responsible for the attempts to bribe? Then why would the Emperor mention shortly before the journey that he expected to see? Did the accused intend to lead the Emperor's forces to France? Citizen, would you call blah blah Roland a loyal servant? Was the Swiss Guard going to help during the Duke's attack on Paris? You were aware of the plans of the Emperor and the Duke of Brunswick. Why did you not do anything? Why did you not warn the National Assembly and the army? You need to speak up. I did not deem their threat serious. That reeks of treason. Allow me to quote, my armies await my orders. Does that not sound like a serious threat? Prince Charles is impetuous, but I never once thought he would dare attack France. Oh, they're angry again, Jesus. Were you responsible for the attempts to bribe the National Assembly? I did not sign that document, sir, but was found in a cache belonging to the accused. It speaks of thanks from the king. My intention was to put Minister Roland on trial for abusing his power. I kept the document for that occasion. A trial that has not happened for 3 years now. A trial that needs to happen. Roland will confess to the guillotine. That is the fault of the Minister of Justice. I ordered him to carry out an investigation to punish the Minister of Internal Affairs. We're gonna slice him and dice him. Did the accused intend to lead the Emperor's forces to France? I certainly did not. In his letter, the Emperor was quite clear about his intentions to return order to France. I do not know the plans of Emperor Leopold, but I do know that I would never allow anyone to spill French blood. But you must admit that such an offer from an enemy government paints you in a bad light. Dear God, it is merely personal correspondence from my brother-in-law. It is not personal when the letters exchanged are by rulers and deal in matter of national security. I actually agree with the prosecutor here. I hate this. Show me the report here. So who was responsible for bribing? We have it right here somewhere, right? Minister Roland. Did Citizen Capet explain his reasoning behind Roland's mission of corruption? It was merely a jest? Why did Citizen Capet not warn the National Assembly? He believes that he didn't think it was serious, which is just nonsense. Did Citizen Capet explain his reasoning behind Roland's mission of corruption? Do we have a question for that? Ah, here we go. I think if I ask this, we should still be in guillotine territory. Citizen, would you call Minister Jean-Marie Roland a loyal servant? He was always loyal to France and the Revolution. There was a time when I held him in high regard. We have a letter from the minister here in which he encourages bribery of deputies of the convention. I've heard that when the cabinet containing new evidence was discovered, Roland dismissed his associates so he could carefully go through the contents by himself. During one meeting, I joked that we would be able to save the balance of the Republic if I could find just one honest man on the convention who would back me. It would seem a humorless joke was taken quite seriously. Judging by what was left, I dread to think the documents the minister succeeded in destroying. I hope the accused does not lose his pity and lose his job. It would be a pity. Oh Jesus, they're angry. They're angry, boys. We're gonna file a verdict right here. Always loyal. During one meeting, I joked that he would be able to save the balance. I thought it was a joke. He claims it was merely a jest. What a nice joke, my fellow brother, of betraying the revolution. You called a revolutionary pig. It's time for the death penalty. The people of France have spoken. The king needs to go. And anybody that opposes the revolution needs to go at this point. We are threatened from the inside and the outside. And we have to act accordingly. I sentence Citizen Capet to death by guillotine. Take the convict away. Long live the people. Down with the tyrant. Alright, everything right. Perfect. Unlock questions. Reputation 6. Oh, beautiful. What's our reputation like anyway? Pretty mediocre. At least everybody likes us now decently enough. And that's a scene here. Okay.
Do they understand? Their excitement was stronger than the smell of the fresh wood the guillotine was made from. Do they know what's about to happen? Sheep that only now realize they used to have fangs and claws. One thought guides their clenched fists. To bow before the new, uncompromising idol with a shining steel crown. I too have felt their eyes on me, just like him. A silent assistant in this ritual of new faith. A random acolyte, scared, doubtful. Will not the old gods seek vengeance for this treachery? He abandoned them all too easily. I was unable to understand their screams. I only tasted the stench of their sweaty bodies. But I could hear one thing perfectly. Bring us the king.
Bring us the king. Maybe I could win the heart of the crowd. We have to hold a speech here. We have to. Speak to the common folk. No, we have to speak. This is about the King of France. You have to speak. Crime. I think we're going to go with aggression here. The crime is an incredible one. The defendant... I think I'm going to go with aggression twice. This one didn't work out, so... This is oversensitive. So maybe we'll go with humility instead. A weak argument. Perfect argument. I'm going to go with humility for the second. This order shall be suppressed with the brutal strength of our truth. No turning back now. We are not only mourning the victims, but the convict soul as well. But do not mistake our compassion for weakness. That worked, okay. And manipulation. The reign of the previous rulers, whose goal was to bring injustice to the people, ends with their swift deaths. Exactly right. That worked out, that's fine. Gives me some reputation. I die as an innocent man. I forgive my enemies. Look at these smug faces. I must be dreaming. Is that the map from the Muglays case? You stole evidence from the court? I did not steal it, only found a use for it. It will be more useful in your room than in the dusty drawers of the court archives. After all, this is a map I Turgot and should be treated with respect. What a lovely explanation. Consider it a gift. Now take it and try not to talk so much. You should be more concerned about the events with the king, because this whole situation just seems peculiar. As your superior, I should be the one judging Louis's case. I fail to understand why Robespierre asked for your assistance. You're jealous? Of course I'm jealous. It is an important moment in history, and people will be reading about it for decades to come. It seems there will be trouble. I have a feeling that someone is toying with my life as though an unknown force were pushing me into utter chaos. Keep your eyes open. You came to the political world of the city from out of nowhere, and that means someone will have to step down to make room. Do you have to sound so defeated? My husband is a renowned person now. We should be happy about it. It is easier to shoot someone in the spotlight. It is. It really is. So, the people in my family like the decision regarding the king. He obviously not being influenced. We will not work on tomorrow's trial. This is a useless option in my opinion. At least so far. Opening night at the theater. Political debate. Evening with grandfather. Let's just go for an evening stroll. I want to see where this goes. He hated it. Jesus. Oh, it was exactly the other way around than I thought it was. Amazing. Reputation is up. So only he hates it. That's fine. He's almost there. Almost at the point where we can go ahead and feel good about it. Day 7. Liberté, still Act 1. But already day 7. The people shrug the invisible burden off their backs. The streets seem more peaceful. Even the windows at the courthouse were soon replaced. Indeed. Dear Citizen Fidel, I am writing to congratulate you on becoming a part of our country's history. Citizen Capet's trial is on everyone's lips. I would also like to discuss the important topic of appointing the new Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard, who will replace Citizen Burrell. It is my honest belief that I am the best candidate. Should you give me your permission, I would like to pay you a visit this evening. Francois Henriot. I don't know. Are you supporter of tyranny? Please introduce yourself. Anne de Korff. Anne de Korff, Baroness, you have been accused of conspiring to facilitate the escape of the Capets from France. Do you plead guilty? Monsieur le Juge, there has been a misunderstanding. I had nothing to do with that. The evidence speaks against the accused. That is impossible. Alright, let us take a look at this first. Nothing too interesting going on here. Interesting, this just tells us what happened to the... on every day, which is interesting. Other than that, any new people? Raphael Clovis? No, we already know about him. We know about all of those people. Nothing new there. Our reputation is getting better. It's nice. Sections taking over. I don't even know what it means. We have 0 sections. The common folk love us. The revolutionaries do not like us. Maybe we can sway both of them. Other than that, maybe the hierarchy is something new for us? Doesn't appear so. Saint-Just is lying. During one of the regular disputes at the Café Procope, the brazen Saint-Just demagogically suggested that all judges are corrupt relics of the Ancien Regime. Unfortunately, he chose to use you as an example. Again, that's a minor thing. Who cares? It's like so minor. Let's read about the case here. Again, Nathan Desiraf. Anne de Korff, 67, is a widow who currently owns an enormous fortune that she inherited from her late husband, Baron de Clichy. Before the revolution, she was one of Marie Antoinette's trusted courtiers. After the events in 1789, she cut ties with the court. However, she recently became a frequent guest at the Tuileries. This will come up for an eternity and haunt me. Where the Capets were being kept. She also took part in Count de Fersen's scheme to facilitate the escape of the monarchs from the Tuileries. Following de Fersen's orders, de Korff supposedly bought a new carriage in her own name. The purchase of a Berlin carriage for 6 passengers, sufficient to carry the Capets from Paris, was made at Jean-Louis' workshop. The valet of the Baroness, Gilbert, testified that the carriage... Okay, stop me right here, the tracks. I need to learn reading it. The carriage was delivered to the Count shortly before the escape. It is widely known that de Fersen himself, dressed as a coachman, drove the carriage as far as Bondy. Interestingly enough, when the monarchs were stopped in Varennes, Marie Antoinette had a newly issued passport under the name of Anne de Korff, which she was using during the trip. The streets of Paris are humming with gossip. They say that Anne helped the Count not because of her sympathy towards the monarchs, but because of an affair they had in the past, and the elderly aristocrat's unquenchable desire. Evidence, a receipt produced by Jean-Louis. Interesting. Jean-Louis, right, he was the one that built it. Let's talk about the questions here. We have only one mistake to make, Jesus. 67-year-old widow. That's her personality. Receipt for the construction, that's clearly evidence. The defendant's needs and urges. New passport for the Queen is evidence or method, one of the two. This is clearly method. Frequent guest in the Tuileries. Ah, shit. Trusted courtier. New passport for the Queen. It's one of these. And these two are vital. I can't make any mistakes here. Frequent guest in the Tuileries. That is method. Got him. Are you? No, you're one of the two. New passport for the Queen. I mean, it's evidence and method. That's upsetting. It's like both, actually. New passport for the Queen. It's both. It's straight up both. I hate it. Because it is the method to get out of the country, and it's evidence against her. I'm gonna go with method. Alright, okay. I would have actually... I don't know. This one was a weird one. How many carriages are on the defendant's... What are the questions here? Did the defendant confess to the crime? Was her act counter-revolutionary in nature? Why did the defendant need a passport and carriage? According to the testimony, who was using the widow's vehicle? How many carriages are on the defendant's coach house? Could you describe the carriage? How is it possible the defendant's passport was being held by Marie Antoinette? What is your relationship? What does the accused think of the monarchy? Who was using the widow's vehicle? Why do you need it? Why do you need a carriage for 6 people? Because a lonely woman wants to travel with company. There's still some people I can invite. Or you could plan to help the royal family of exactly 6 people in their escape. I'm not the only person in this city who owns a Berlin carriage for 6 people, Monsieur le Juge. But the other owners are not plotting against the state. Perhaps not with the use of carriages. True, we're surrounded by serpents. There's literally only one person here. Nobody cares about this one. Why would the accused visit the Capes and the Tuileries? How many carriages are in the defendant's coach house? Yeah, how many do we have? If I remember correctly, 3. We can't remember the last time we ate meat, and she doesn't know how many carriages she owns. Then why would you order another carriage in Jean-Louis's workshop? Does a lonely widow really need a 4th carriage? Because my wealth allowed it, Monsieur le Juge. Since when is spending money on feminine caprices a crime? It is when those caprices serve Count de Fersen's conspiracy. We know that he instructed you to buy it. Nonsense. I ordered it for my own trip to Montmedy. Your own trip to Montmedy. What does the accused think about the monarchy? I do not know much about politics, but I support the revolution, if that is what you're asking, Monsieur le Juge. Is that why you left court? That is a completely different story and not related to politics at all. What was it related to? I heard some ridiculous accusations of a small scandal involving me and a married general. Did the defendant, despite those circumstances, maintain good relations with Citizen Capet's wife, good enough to help her? I could only pray for her. At my age, one does not have enough strength for conspiracies. Why would the accused visit the Capes and the Tuileries? The visit was purely social. As an elderly person, I struggle with loneliness in Paris. That is most strange, considering that the accused severed relations with the royal court when the revolution began. I wish to see all the people I met in Versailles before I die. So, is that so wrong? Oh, to see all the people. Was it during the visit that you handed Marie Antoinette your passport? Absolutely not. There was a guard who would not look away even for a second. Those terrible people never leave her side, the poor, anguished woman. And yet, by some miracle, your passport still found its way to her. I had nothing to do with it. No. I do believe it was counter-revolutionary in nature. Wanted to travel to Montmedy was her reason. According to the testimony, who was using the widow's vehicle? We don't know that, actually. Oh. Do we know that? I don't think we do. But getting one wrong is not that bad, actually. No, I have no idea. I'm gonna go with General Aldrich. I'm gonna sentence her. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not certain that she is, like, you know, was fully aware of the circumstances of what happened here, but she clearly is a friend of the Queen Marie Antoinette. She quite clearly had all of this kind of planned, and her lie about not being able to hand over the passport, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. She's an enemy of the revolution, if you ask me. She needs to go. Revolution needs to live, and she needs to go. I mean, we could also send her to prison. You know what? Let's just send her to prison. She doesn't need to. She doesn't need to die. But look at this. Like, the verdict barely affects the prison. Nobody's really affected. Yeah. No. Okay. We can ask more questions then. I'm happy with that. Could you describe the carriage you ordered? It was a luxurious Berlin, painted green and yellow. The Capets attempted to escape in a carriage that exactly matches this description. Where's the carriage now? I swear that I had nothing to do with the escape of Louis and his wife from the Tuileries. Answer the questions. I lent it to the Count de Fersen, but I swear on all that is sacred, I did not know the scoundrel's true intentions. You think anyone will believe that? What did the accused think he was going to use it for? He said that it would be used by the Swedish ambassador. God, we answered it wrongly. Why should I have disbelieved the Count? No. Well, doesn't matter. How is it possible that the defendant's passport was being held by Marie Antoinette? It was stolen from my apartment. It must have been Count de Fersen. And of course, you immediately reported the theft? I ordered my valet Gilbert to do that. How interesting that Parisian police received no such claim. I do not know what to say. I have no idea why Gilbert did not follow my order. She's lying. And the citizen did not see that it was done. I'm a rather busy person. It must have slipped my mind. Those filthy aristocrats are really hard working, aren't they? Let's see if we can get it down to being prison. What is your relationship with Count de Fersen? Only friendship, Monsieur le Juge. At my age, I cannot expect anything more, unfortunately. Was there something more in the past? Not as much as the people at court like to suppose. But you knew each other well. You could say that, yes. I trusted him then. But now, because of him, I am an elderly woman stuck in a prison cell. Well, you know what? You're actually going to prison. You're going to remain there. She's right. She is an elderly woman stuck in a prison cell. She is entirely right. I sentence Citizen Anderkorff to prison. Lead the condemned out. I don't buy that she was set up. I don't buy it. And even if she was, let's say she was set up, she's still gotta go. She's an aristocrat. What are you telling me? You don't want to get rid of all the aristocrats? What's wrong with you? What? Is there no justice? Ah, come on, cry harder. Right, easy money. We did it. Reputation, etc., etc. Nice. Ah, I see. Francois Henriot. Your wife told me that if I seek the support of just people, I should look for them in your house. Yes, Citizen Henriot. My husband will be more than happy to endorse a candidacy for the post of commander-in-chief. She's a politician at heart. Why does this feel like a fait accompli? Like a already done thing? Please do not be angry at your wife. I'm sure that she acted in good faith when she made those promises. How could anyone refuse to support such a respectable officer? I am certain that my husband will acknowledge your merits, just as I have. Undoubtedly. But how can I be so sure when there are so many other candidates? Well, I respect the other candidates. They are decent people. However, I can offer you the most precious gift. Loyalty. Working together, we can greatly benefit each other and maybe Paris too. Oh, this is corruption. Our family has a high regard for sincerity and loyalty, does it not, my dear? Moreover, we respect each other's boundaries. Yeah, you're a bit close to me, mate. At every turn. Yes, those ugly rumors about you being an addict should be put to an end. Know that I never forget those who have done me a favor. Words, 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 Citizen Henriot. I'm certain that no other candidate has asked for your endorsement. They do not think that you are worthy of their friendship. But I, Francois Henriot, I am different. So are my words. I'm sure that my husband has already noticed that. Thank you. Regardless of what the masses are yelling, Paris is only as strong as its united elites. I will not retract my wife's promises, but in the future, make sure you come to me first. But of course. Alright, so he's gonna get our support here, apparently. Let us read together. We know he dislikes it, but he will get boosted up here. And everybody else will also get boosted up, which is okay, I think. They will just, like... They will hate each other. There's nothing like sitting with your family and a good book. Let's read together here. We can do that. This should bring him over the... Oh, almost. This shouldn't bring him up over the top, I think. Let's go. Easy money. Get influenced, you son of a gun. Whiskey lullaby. The evening is warm, so you decide to take the long way home. Near the Café Chantilly, you spot an amusing scene. Two drunkards fighting over a bottle of liquor, cursing like stable boys. The first is shorter and dressed in a disheveled officer's uniform, possibly a colonel. The second fighter, although significantly taller, is just an ordinary street thug. You listen to the gibberish and tangled epithets, only to reach the conclusion that the bottle contains one last gulp of drink. Why would I try to settle this? I don't get it. I guess? Oh, amazing. The two enemies unite in the face of a stranger in an elegant coat. It surely looks comical to the observers when, in a fit of boost-driven solidarity, one tries to hit you in the head with a disputed object, while the other kicks at your ankle. You dodge the bottle, which smashes on a nearby wall, spilling the remaining alcohol everywhere. However, the kick is a success, and immobilizes you long enough for the drunkards to disappear down a back alley. It takes some time for the bystanders to stop laughing. Jesus. How did I deserve that, huh? Oh, look at... what is this?
A Paris of a new era. Weak, vulnerable to attacks. Waiting for someone to reach for power. Waiting for someone who, once again, will take control of its soul. The pawns are now in play.
Okay. Recent days have proven that Paris can win, that France can win. We managed to overcome our past, divesting our last remaining tyrant of his power. Now it is time to rebuild, to create symbols that inspire future generations. That is why, during a gathering of the convention, several enterprising citizens proposed the construction of a statue to commemorate the revolutionary victory over injustice. You were given the honor of supervising the construction. There is no better candidate than the one who vanquished Louis Capet. You have an opportunity to leave yet another mark on Paris. Okay, sections of Paris. Each section can be controlled by you, by an enemy, or be neutral. Each section you take over provides you with one additional influence point. A chance of mission success is higher in your territory. Enemy agents can also take over your sections. Actions performed in enemy sections are less likely to be successful. Some sections are locked. Unlock them with any agent to carry out actions within them. To unlock a section, you have to scout it first. You can only unlock sections adjacent to the ones that are already unlocked. Controlled by you further. Each section reacts to the situation in the game, causing the fervor of its residents to rise or fall. If their fervor becomes too intense, it could result in destructive riots. Player agents. Send agents on missions, manage unruly crowds, and fight for influence over the city. Click an agent and choose the action you wish them to carry out. The Bruiser is good at fighting, gaining reputation, and managing unruly crowds. Fighting reputation crowds. The Diplomat takes over sections, nurtures relations with factions, and lowers fervors in sections. Weaken duels against enemy agents. You can move your agents freely between your sections. Unfortunately, in hostile or neutral territory, they can only move one space per day. Oh, fuck. Controlled by me. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? The more sections under your control, the faster the monument is constructed. Each subsequent stage of completion allows you to take over another building near the monument. Okay. Make it Lady Justice, sure. Don't see why not. Make it Lady Justice. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Or maybe we have something... I don't want... No, don't make it myself, okay? Let's be real here. We have to at least, no matter what we do, we have to act as though we are justice, alright? Whatever I actually do, it has to look like justice. And seize buildings here. Jesus. How in-depth is this game? This is incredible. Each building lets you perform a different kind of action. Take over the ones that support your playstyle. What? Daily rate at which the statue is constructed, 0%. Right, there's some soldiers walking along here. A hideout helps your agents operate more efficiently. Facilitate your work at the court. My residence. Oh, I live here. This is where you can take actions related to your family and persuaded characters. What? Printing house. The printing house enables actions against the Muscadines and the Revolutionary Patrol. Okay. District is already fully upgraded. So we have an enemy up top. I'm gonna move you over here, right? Or let's say down here. Sure. Oh, you can only move. Can't actually do anything yet. Could move him in there. Can I take that over? Take over an enemy section. So if they move, they can't do anything else. Increase your influence over the district. What? Unknown character. So somebody is going against me and I don't know who is. My brain is actually melting. Alright, day 8. Oh my god.
A bloody beginning. A violent prologue announced by a flowing red curtain. The wrath of strangers made me sick to my stomach. Feet stirred dark puddles. The air tasted like iron. Their heads, someone cried. Anger hidden in the shadows. Thousands of cries from a single throat. Here was a beast with hundreds of claws and teeth. A kicked, abused, and physically wounded soul. Their heads! What a cold and urgent order. The beast's eyes showed a long-disguised bitterness. Yesterday's envy. It has waited too long to show mercy now. Too long covering its ears while others laughed at its inadequacies and feebleness. The beast's bark was filled with 1,000 smiles of those who worship this bloody morning. The day when their enemies will perish. Their brothers.
Paris and the Revolution are their own beast. That is true, without a doubt. Alright, we will get to this sentence in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in again. 45 minutes in already. I will see you in the next one. Later, alligator.